In the rugged land of ancient Greece, nestled between towering mountains and the deep blue Aegean Sea, there lay a city-state known as Sparta. This city was unlike any other, for it was home to the fiercest and most disciplined warriors the world had ever seen, the Spartans. Among them, 300 warriors would etch their names into history, their valor and sacrifice forever remembered. The year was 480 BC, and Persia, led by King Xerxes, had set its sights on conquering Greece. A vast and powerful Persian army, said to number in the hundreds of thousands, was marching relentlessly towards the Greek mainland. The Greeks, a collection of independent city-states, were in grave danger of being swept away by this formidable tide. Leonidas, the king of Sparta, was well aware of the impending threat. He knew that the Persian forces would soon reach the narrow coastal pass of Thermopylae, a natural choke point that led into central Greece. It was there that he decided to make his stand, defending Greece with his 300 Spartans and a handful of allies from other city-states. The Spartan warriors, hand-picked for their strength, bravery, and unwavering loyalty, gathered at the foot of the mountains overlooking the pass. Leonidas, a formidable leader in his own right, stood before them, clad in his crimson cloak and bronze armor. "My brothers," he began, his voice carrying across the assembly. "Today, we stand as the shield of Greece. We stand against an army so vast that it darkens the very horizon, but we have something they do not: discipline, unity, and the will to fight for our homeland. They may take our lives, but they will never take our freedom." A thunderous roar erupted from the Spartan ranks, echoing through the valleys and reverberating in the hearts of every man. As the Persian army approached, Leonidas deployed his men in a tight, unbreakable phalanx formation, their bronze shields forming an impenetrable wall. The first clash was brutal, the Spartans holding their ground against wave after wave of Persian soldiers. Their discipline was unmatched, their spears finding their mark, while their shields deflected arrows and enemy blades. For 3 days, the battle raged on. The Persians, frustrated and incredulous at the resilience of the Spartans, continued to launch waves of attacks. Each night, the Greeks would retreat slightly, consolidating their position and preparing for the next day's onslaught. The casualties mounted on both sides, but the Spartans held firm, their resolve unwavering. On the 4th day, a local resident named Ephialtes, a hunchback who had been rejected by the Spartan army, approached Xerxes with a treacherous plan. He revealed a hidden path that led behind the Spartan lines, an undefended route that could allow the Persians to encircle the Greek forces. Xerxes seized upon this opportunity, and in the dead of night, he dispatched a contingent of his elite immortals to follow Ephialtes' secret path. These elite soldiers began their silent ascent through the mountain trails, confident that they would soon have the Spartans at their mercy. However, fate had a different plan. A few hours before the Persian ambush was to strike, a local resident who sympathized with the Greeks discovered the Immortals movement. He rushed to warn Leonidas and his men, knowing that time was running out. As dawn broke, the Spartans received the warning and immediately dispatched their most seasoned fighters to meet the threat head-on. The clash in the mountains was fierce, and the fate of the Greek defense hung in the balance. The Spartans fought with unmatched valor, holding back the Immortals and preventing them from encircling their comrades in the pass. Meanwhile, Leonidas and his 300 Spartans continued to hold the line at Thermopylae. Their numbers had dwindled, their bodies battered and fatigued, but their spirit remained unbroken. Wave after wave of Persian attacks crashed against their shield wall, but they would not yield. The Persian army was forced to send wave after wave, each meeting a grim end at the hands of the Spartans. Leonidas, however, knew that their fate was sealed. Their supplies had run low, and there was no hope of reinforcements arriving in time. He called a council of his captains to discuss their options. As they gathered in a hidden alcove within the mountains, the Spartans faced a grim reality. Their sacrifice had bought Greece valuable time to prepare for the Persian onslaught, but they could not hold out much longer. Leonidas spoke with solemn determination. "My brothers, we have given everything for Greece. Our names will live on, and our sacrifice will be remembered for eternity. But the time has come to choose. Do we die here as a last stand, or do we retreat and live to fight another day?" The captains, battered and bruised but resolute, made their decision. They knew that retreat was the only way to preserve the legacy of Sparta and continue the fight against the Persians. As the final day of battle dawned, the Spartans made a fateful decision. They launched a daring, suicidal charge against the Persian forces, striking fear into the hearts of their enemies. In this final act of defiance, they exacted a heavy toll on the Persians, but it was a battle they could not win. Leonidas, alongside his 300 warriors, fought to the last man, their names and their sacrifice forever etched into the annals of history. The Persians, despite their victory, were shaken by the incredible courage and skill of the Spartans. It was a lesson they would not forget. News of the battle spread like wildfire throughout Greece, igniting a flame of resistance against the Persian invaders. The memory of the 300 Spartans inspired the Greeks to unite and ultimately defeat the Persians in a series of battles, culminating in the naval battle of Salamis. The sacrifice of Leonidas and his Spartans was not in vain. They had given their lives to ensure the survival of Greek civilization, and their bravery became a symbol of resistance and the enduring spirit of freedom. For generations to come, the story of the 300 Spartans at Thermopylae would serve as a testament to the power of courage, discipline, and sacrifice in the face of overwhelming odds.